Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Aaron Touchstone. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the MOZA CRP2 load cell pedals. Now in this video, I am not going to be doing any kind of unboxing because there's a ton of detail about load cell pedals, ton of adjustments. Go watch someone else's video about this. This is pretty much just about, are load cell pedals worth it? Do they actually make you faster? If you look in the sim racing world, you will see that everybody tells you to upgrade your pedals first. And I didn't take that advice. I probably should have. Today, we're going to be going over a lap time comparison via ChatGPT. And then we're also going to look at some of the laps that I raced. So we're going to have a little side by side between my old pedals, which were the SimMagic P500 pedals, which I really liked. And then the load cell pedals that I got in. So without further ado, let's jump into the lap time comparison. We did 2 races and we did 1 practice session. And we're just gonna go over some of those lap times and I'll show you some of the drivings afterwards. So the first race that we did was with the SimMagic P500 pedals. And just to put this into perspective, I have been racing with these pedals for probably 6 months. And I had done about 50 laps before this race with the P500 pedals, just trying to get used to the track. So it is not like I wasn't prepared for this. That's how I would typically prepare, is race around 50 laps on a track. And then that's just kind of my pace where it would typically be. And I ran a really good race here. So this is about as good as I could get at the time. So looking at this, our average lap time, I excluded lap 1. So lap 1 was us starting from a dead stop. I got rid of that lap. So these are all pretty much just flying laps during the race. We had an average lap time of 2 minutes and 1 second, 0.968. Our fastest lap time was a 201.067, and our slowest lap was a 202.412. And what you're going to see here is our spread was 1.3 seconds. So between our fastest lap and slowest lap, it was 1.3 seconds. So some overall pretty good consistency. This race was really good. I actually ended up winning this race in a 2.2K strength of field. One of my highest strength of field wins. And honestly, I felt pretty good about it. I think it was overall a really good race. And then the load cell pedals came in. And when the load cell pedals came in, I jumped into a practice session. I tested the laps out for about 4 laps, made sure the brake pedals worked, kind of just like literally hit the gas, made a couple adjustments to my pedal plates and stuff like that. I wasn't really trying to drive, I was just making sure the pedals worked. And then I ran 9 flying laps. So with the 9 flying laps, I turned an average lap time of 2 minutes and 1 second, 0.216. My fastest lap was a 2 minute, 0.326. And our slowest lap, excluding the lap 1, once again, was a 201.799. So if you look at the averages between, I took the 8 fastest laps between the race and the little practice session that I did. And the P500 pedals, I turned a 201.408. And after with the load cell pedals, I turned a 201.073. So we improved our lap times by over 3/10 in this little practice session. And at this point, I am kind of freaking out because I'm like, you're telling me load cell pedals may be 3/10 faster in the first 9 laps that I ever bought them or ever drove them? That is absolutely insane, especially because our fastest lap time was actually 7/10 faster than our P500 lap time, which once again, absolutely insane. So I was kind of freaking out, and then I thought about it and realized that the track temperature was lower during the practice session. That means that we had more grip during this practice session, and it's the reason why we went way faster. So I gained a little bit of confidence from this. I kind of learned what I liked about the load cell pedals, and what I do like about the load cell pedals, just to go into a little bit of explanation here of why they are beneficial. The P500 pedals were great. Now, there's a few instances where they weren't so great, and I think this is not just P500 pedals, it's all non-load cell pedals. In the Porsche Cup specifically, when you start to get oversteer, and so to correct oversteer, that is when your back end is kind of swinging out, you have too much rotation, you have to let off the brakes a little bit. And when you let off the brakes of the P500 pedals, it's very hard to just kind of like gradually lean off of them. And instantly, it was like lap 2 with the load cell pedals, I realized that I could manage that a lot better. And then to kind of top it off a little bit, what I would consider is kind of like low pressure braking, so like within 25% to 0, it was much easier to manage that type of braking. So when you're doing the first turn at Suzuka, it is a very long, pretty much double right that you're just kind of barely holding your brakes on to get more rotation. And with the P500 pedals, I would find myself pretty much like touching my big toe to the pedal, just to try and hit somewhere between 20% and 1%, and just kind of find that number. Where the load cell pedals, I could actually put a little bit of pressure to get to 20% and still slowly fade off. And so my braking became a lot more consistent pretty much instantly within this first practice session, which is very, very nice, because keep in mind, I've raced the older pedals, the P500s, for 6 months, and I had done 50 laps on this track before. So it's like I was very aware of, you know, how to race the track, and then immediately got more consistent. First time I ever drove on these pedals. I was very, very happy after driving these. And then after that, I got into another race. I pretty much compared apples to apples with the second race that I did. So I had probably done an additional 20 laps of practice with the load cell pedals. And I wanted to see, you know, did we actually improve when we jumped into the same weather, same track temperature pretty much. And so here we are, we're comparing these. We pretty much excluded the slowest 2 laps. And the slowest 2 laps, the reason why I did this is because the first lap is the one from the standing start. And I was, at the end of the race, I was so far ahead that I was simply just coasting. So I excluded a lap 13 because I literally was just like driving around. I had no one near me at that time. So I excluded those 2 laps. So I did pretty much our fastest 11 laps, I guess you could say. So looking at these, the average pace with the P500 pedals was a 201.619. Then we implemented the load cell pedals, and we were at a 201.305. So we got a little bit better. We got 0.3 faster throughout the entire race. Was our average pace better, or average lap time was better. Our fastest lap throughout the entire race before was a 201.067, and after was a 2:06.99. So we got a little bit more than 0.3 better on our fastest lap as well. Our consistency actually was almost exactly the same. So that, I mean, that's a good and bad thing. I think the part where I'm missing the consistency the most is, or not really missing, but I think could be a bit more consistent, is if I did this on a practice session by myself and didn't have traffic that I had to fight for. Like, I passed a couple of people during this race, or during both races. So our lap times, I think, could be a little bit more consistent than 1.3 seconds, but that's just not the data that we have right here. So overall, we got faster lap times on average, faster overall lap time, and we pretty much stayed consistent through the race. Which overall, load cell pedals are 100% worth it. You can just control your car better. I will say during the second race, I was 0.3 faster, and I felt safer the entire time driving the car. So not only did I get faster, I felt more confident and just safer throughout the entire race. So that is what I would say. I would say that it was worth it to upgrade the pedals, especially because I did no upgrades. That was straight out of the box load cell pedals. I did not adjust any of the spacers or springs or anything like that, so keep that in mind. That was straight out of the box, just performance immediately, which is very, very nice. So now, after going through those comparisons, I want to show you a couple of the videos here. I'm going to show you the first couple of laps. Actually, we'll do the split lap time first, so you can see the fastest lap with non-load cell and load cell, and then you'll see me kind of just my first impressions, my raw first impressions of driving with the load cell pedals. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you have any questions about the pedals, leave me a comment below, and the link to the pedals is also down in the description. Let's see what we can do. I do think I need to adjust my pedals a bit, but we're gonna see. This is straight out of the box. And we're gonna see how consistent they feel. And right now, this is gonna be a great test because I haven't ran really hardly any laps. I just wanted to make sure that the pedal worked, or pedals. But no, they feel really good. I'll tell you what, the brake pedal feels tremendously different compared to what I was using on the P500s. We're on cold tires, so we're going to take this a bit slow. Golly. Having to feel like I'm literally mashing my brake pedal through a wall to brake is something that is very new to me. I am realizing that I have to press the brakes very, very hard. I'm expecting to go a little bit longer that hairpin quite often until we get used to it, but we're getting used to it on the fly here. Golly. So something that I'm noticing, to get above 50% braking, I feel like I have to put a lot of pressure immediately. I'm going to get better at it. I'm going to have that feeling kind of in my head. Here shortly, I just haven't done enough laps. The hard braking zones, goodness gracious. We're going to need some work there. I don't know how the system is going to count this, if this is going to count as a full lap. That'll count as lap number 1, I'm not exactly sure. Will it give us a time? No, it will not. So this will be considered our first lap, which is a little bit unfortunate, so it won't be a direct comparison, but maybe we'll have it delete out the first lap, the one I asked ChatGPT to
Analyze. Kind of scared of losing the back end. A little bit of oversteer there. Had to let off the brakes. I was playing quite a bit with my brake bias during the race, but we're just getting used to the tires or to the brakes themselves right now. No off track there, that's good to know. .202.361, that was a bit slow. Couple little mistakes here and there. Took too much of the inside curve there. It's going to slow us down a bit. What we're looking for is consistency. I don't know if the track temperature has changed at all. I did not think about checking that. There we go. Into the 201s. Move the brake bias forward again. I almost feel as if this track is... I mean, it obviously is very important to have the right brakes on every track, but I almost feel like you benefit the least amount on this track because there's not a whole ton of like trail braking areas. I feel like you're kind of just stabbing the brakes, and there I go deep into the hairpin again because I didn't hit the brakes hard enough off the start. It is crazy how much harder you have to hit the brakes with a load cell pedal. I find myself kind of just like staring at how hard I'm hitting the brakes and seeing if I'm hitting it hard enough or not hard enough. I just have, I don't have the muscle memory of the brakes right now.
You've got the fastest lap.
A 2. Okay, that's what is predicted. 201, 232. Definitely push a bit more pace through this first turn. Still could carry more pace through there. I am struggling in that hairpin. Once I figure that out, our times are going to drop significantly. I feel like I'm able to trust. At times of oversteer, I feel like I'm almost able to trust it just a little bit more. Because I know where the brake is. That's too big of a brake stab there. Something I'm realizing is how
You just hit the fastest lap.
this gas pedal has a long throw to it, and I'm not necessarily used to it. Trying to carry a bit more speed through this first turn. A lot more speed. That was a lot quicker that time. Once again, too far on the inside. Had to let off. Lost a ton of time because of that. Spamming the gear shifter. Could have been on gas a lot earlier there. Something that I'm noticing in my throttle is that it's not super smooth. I may have to change the way the throttle is applied in the software. Still too big of a brake stab again. It's almost every corner is like that when I get back on gas. And if I had to guess where my throttle telemetry is kind of like doing this, that is where my old pedal used to go to 100%, if I had to guess. Let off of brakes a little too early. Could have had a bit more rotation. I do feel like I have more grip in the S turns. And I don't know if that's because I'm on ABS a bit less. Like we have a lot more pace to give right now. Trying to go a little more over the curve there. Still struggling to feel comfortable out of that turn. Again, I just can't confidently put the power down. Coming out of spoon, but I'm not sure what our fastest lap was, but I'm pretty sure it was in the 201s, and we just turned a
You've got the fastest lap.
2-minute .82. Golly, I feel like I was able to trust the pedals. A little bit of spin coming out. That's tough. Had a really good first turn there. Need to go a bit deeper through that turn there. Cannot figure out the hairpin. We are struggling through it. Hopefully the 7 guy doesn't get in the way. I was a bit slower. Look at this lap time. Holy moly.
You've got the fastest lap.
What a time. Looks like we're gonna run into some traffic problems here. Just took that the best we've taken it. Give him a little flash, maybe they'll let us through. I doubt it. There he is, perfect.
Car on your left.
Perfect place to just stop right in the corner of the apex. Losing a ton of time through that section due to that, but that's okay. I forgot to change entries, that was on me. I don't really like going over that curve like I just did, but this shit wasn't too bad. I do feel like I'm over slowing in that turn. I can't quite figure it out. It just doesn't feel comfortable right now. struggling with spoon a bit. No off track there. We lost a little bit of focus, but that was a bad lap, and I think we may have just beat our best time in the race, so can't complain there. If a brake pedal is making this much of a difference, that is insane. Literally have not ran any laps with this thing and just straight into it can pick it up. And this is no brake customization. I lost a lot of time there. That was on me. I know exactly what I did. I came in with a little bit of pace. It's gonna make us lose a lot of lap time, but I mean, that's okay. I came in a little too hot there, but it's okay. Touched the grass there, lost a bit of traction.
You've got about 5 laps of fuel.
Coming a bit too hot. You're gonna lose a lot of time through here. It's kind of bailed off there. I think I could have held on to that potentially. Oh, this is a bad lap. Oh no! That wasn't even a brake pedal thing. I just missed it. What